Brothers and sisters, good evening and a very warm welcome to this amazing program on NTV. It's a pleasure, as always, to welcome you on board. Today, the whole world is celebrating Valentine's Day. And indeed, love is a very powerful force, a very potent force, and it is the solution for most of the problems that we face in the world today. But sincerely, frankly, I believe that we are severely restricting the scope of love in these celebrations. We've got nations, neighbors, getting ready to destroy one another at the slightest provocation. We have religious communities who have stayed together for ages, swimming in a tide of mutual distrust and intolerance. And we've got a million houses where people stay under the same roof as strangers. Isn't that sad? Isn't that very bad? I think it's to these people that we should send the message of love. And to all the youngsters, my young friends who are watching the show today, let me tell you this: fall in love again and again and again, but with God Almighty, with your teachers, with your parents, with your fellow beings, and above all with your own true self. Fall in love again and again with your dreams, with your aspirations, and the person that you can blossom out to be. If at all you have to have a Valentine, let it be with your own cherished, successful destiny. Brothers and sisters, what are we going to discuss today? Today, the topic that we have for you is the gravest mistakes, the most terrible mistake, if I may say, that we parents make. Now, let me be careful with the topic here because I'm a parent myself. I've got a son, Aman, who's 14, and Jahan, who is 7. I don't have to say this, but for the sake of our viewers, I absolutely love them, I adore them, and I consider my life's greatest purpose to be to take care of them, to nourish them, and to guide them. But do I make mistakes in my role as a parent? Of course I do. There are many situations when I say and when I do things that hurt them, that affect them adversely. And yes, I almost always do it out of love with the best of intentions. But sometimes I may be stressed, sometimes I might not have the time, I may be angry, or I may be just ignorant. So it's very important for us to know the mistakes that we make as parents so that we can make corrections to our speed and to our directions. And today we did something very special. We requested two youngsters, two teenagers, two students who are doing amazingly well at school, to go and discuss this topic with their closest friends. So they went and brainstormed the topic of the mistakes parents make, and they have a list for us. And today we are proud to have these youngsters with us to discuss this topic of the gravest mistakes parents make. It's now time to introduce our guests and welcome them into the studio. Welcome Grishma and welcome Raj. It's a pleasure to have you both in the studio with us. We understand you've got examinations, tuitions and assignments, but thank you for sparing your valuable time to share your insights with our audience. Yeah, let's start with Grishma here. Grishma, could you kindly introduce yourself?
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Grishma Unikrishnan and I am presently studying in grade 10 at Gems Arun English High School, Dubai. Gems Arun English High School, Dubai has been my home for more than a decade, and it has given me a lot of platforms, it has given me a lot of opportunities so that I can express myself. And my family consists of 4 members including myself. My father, Mr. Unikrishnan, he is working as a project coordinator at Chevron Dubai. My mother is a housewife, and my sister, she is working as a software engineer in Bangalore. So we're a happy family. Talking about myself, I'm really easygoing, am really cheerful. I would like to, I don't like a dull situation. So I always try to motivate others. I always try to, exert my influence in others so that the environment that I'm working in is quite happy and something that I can cherish for a long time. So.
Thank you, Grishma. That was a very enthusiastic opening, and once again, welcome to the show. I'm sure you'll enjoy it as much as we do. Raj, welcome on board. Thank you for coming in. Could you kindly introduce yourself?
Hi viewers, my name is Raj and I'm a grade 11 student of the Arun English High School, Sharjah Boys Branch. Currently the school's assistant head boy. Yes, definitely my examinations are coming up and I'm working hard towards them. 11th grade is a very tough year, and speaking about myself, I love public speaking, love speaking in front of an audience, and that's why I've joined the famous Toastmasters Club.
Okay.
Over there being a president. Also, this is a lovely show, lovely platform for me to be here, and I thank my principal, Mr. Srivalsan Murugan, for giving me this opportunity to be here.
Sure. Thank you, Raj. Thank you for bringing that up. We absolutely adore the support that Mr. Srivalsan and Mr. Thomas Matthew has been giving us. We had interviewed them in this studio, and they had supported us by sending in teachers to share insights as well. And now we have you. Okay. So thanks to our teachers. A pretty sensitive topic: mistakes parents make. The reason is we have always looked at the mistake teenagers make and why students are not ambitious, why they don't work hard. So we thought, let it be different this time. Why not a change? Why not turn the tables across and look at the mistakes parents make? So I have a set of questions for you based on the inputs that you had given me. So let me start the first one with Grishma here. Okay, and I'll come back to you. Grishma, I think one of the inputs that you gave was that parents nowadays are extremely busy. Okay, probably both could be working and they bring their assignments home and a lot of challenges. So you feel that parents today are not spending enough quality time with their children, and you raised a very valid point. When children have an issue or a problem, you're not really able to communicate that with your parents because of the lack of time. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Basically, when I had posed the question about the biggest biggest mistakes parents make, the first and foremost point that I heard from my friends was that parents don't spend quality time with the students, because as teenagers we're going through a lot of issues, we're going through a lot of problems, and we need someone that we can talk to. We need someone that we can share our personal issues, and mostly there's this misconception that all teenagers are rebels and rebels and we're all defiant and stuff. So parents, either both parents are working, or when your mom or your dad is working, when both of them come back home, they are preoccupied with the household chores, they're preoccupied with their office assignments and everything. So we just don't have time to talk, and either in the dinner table itself, everybody has one or the other gadget with them. So everybody is, they're completely enraptured in that. So there's not much time to talk to. And as a teenager myself, it's not that we are superhuman beings that can multitask everywhere. We need time, we need love to grow up. So, and all this and our surroundings ensures that we turn up into responsible adults. So if we don't have time to talk to a person, if we don't have the environment so that we can share stuff with our parents, then I don't think so, that'll ensure a good upbringing. So.
True. Very valid point. And I think it's not just about time. When you communicate to parents, they have to really listen. They have to understand. It should not be a conversation where one party assumes to know everything. We've gone through your age and, we know what's happening. And then we try to undermine your points and the way you put things across. So I think Grishma's point is we parents will have to devote more time with our teenage children, and we definitely should listen to them, understand things from their perspective, and try to find solutions. Because you said teenagers are not rebels, psychologically speaking, teenagers are losing almost 50% of your brains. You know that, right?
Yes.
It's called synaptic pruning. So 50% of your brain connections go awry when you reach teenage, and the part of your brain which handles emotions is just developing. That's the reason most teenagers are very self-centered. because biologically you're not capable of understanding the emotions of your parents. So I think parents should understand that and should communicate more openly with you. So that was an awesome point to start with. We should communicate more often, and we should definitely listen to our children more often. Maybe having a ritual where you have dinner together, switch the TV off and unplug all the devices, that could be a good thing to start with, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, let's come to our friend here, Raj. Raj, I really smiled when I read this topic, okay? You had said most parents keep hugging on to their old customs, their own values, their own sense of fashion, very retro-ish, and the 1970s, and they stop you from adapting what is new, what is hip and what is current. And sometimes something is even worse, we might force our style concepts on you. So that bothers you, right? Could you speak a little bit on that?
Well, actually, I think speaking about this point, there are two main factors that govern this point. First of all, some parents
Okay.
have a little wrong. Some parents have wrong beliefs
Okay.
about having something new,
Okay.
having something really different from their own style
True.
or culture.
True. Some parents are not our parents, but somebody else's parents.
Exactly.
Let's be on the safer side. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Also, I feel we can take an example. Suppose technology.
Okay.
When our parents were teenagers, technology was just coming up,
Okay.
and phones and computers were not readily available.
Okay.
And when they got their hands on a piece of technology, suppose a phone or something,
Okay.
they thought that it was a very valuable thing,
Okay.
and they didn't let their children actually go around them.
Okay.
Because they always they sometimes see the negative side of it.
Okay.
That if children start experimenting with such a valuable thing,
Okay.
it might damage it, and then it's of no use buying it.
True. True. True.
So, so that is one point, and also the other factor which I was talking about is sometimes parents think. Now, suppose if parents have an image
Okay.
of a sincere kid, they think that their child should dress in that way, should dress sincerely,
Okay.
should have that particular hairstyle.
Okay.
But then, if their child has long hair,
Okay.
then they feel something else. But then I have to say that sincerity and all those qualities don't depend on how you look.
Okay.
It's how you're from
Okay.
inside. So
Okay. My son who's watching this show, he religiously watches it. He must be enjoying every word that you're saying. I remember when I was young, and we had to go for the open house meetings, and my son used to say, "Dad, please dress properly. You need to look cool, and because we need to catch up, because you have your sense of style, you have your definition of style, and you definitely don't want us to look obsolete." So I think this is coming out of love.
Exactly.
When we walk around with you, you want us to be part of the current
Yes.
generation as well, yeah, to be respected by your peers. So that's a very valid point, parents. Make sure that you speak to, and I think we can connect it to what you said as well. Listen to what they say and try to understand what they're saying. So you don't have to enforce what's obsolete onto you. But if I may ask this question, there are some situations where, for example, let's say you're visiting a senior uncle or an aunt, or you're going because there's been a sad situation in the family. It would look awkward if you go with your spikes and your
Yes.
red shoes, and
Yes.
so you have to draw the line somewhere, Raj, right?
yes, actually there are some situations where you have to follow the culture.
Okay.
You have to follow parents' culture, but then
Okay.
we also have to see that there's some of the improved versions
Okay.
of new cultures and new traditions what children follow in today's generation.
True.
So, there are different points of view, obviously.
Okay.
There are two sides of one coin. So, for some situations, you
Yeah.
need to follow the customs,
Okay.
old customs and
Okay.
old fashion, I can say.
Okay.
And for some other situations, like suppose you're going in a different country,
Okay.
you need to wear something else, obviously.
true,
you need
true,
to follow their
true,
own
true,
traditions.
true.
You can't follow your own.
Exactly.
Parents' culture.
I think it's all about both parties meeting each other midway. We had gone to the Global Village, and my son purchased a pair of shoelace which had a neon light in it. you know, so he was walking in the dark and his legs were going all, you know, it was illuminated. So we said, it's fine when you go out, you know, but when you come out with us to the malls, don't wear this, you know, we look like freaks. So you have to meet each other midway. There's one point that I didn't want to ask you, but you had in fact suggested it to me, was that all of you agree that parents should not compare the kids with one another. You know, your brother was like this or your sister was like that, and does it really bother you?
It's
Grishma?
exactly the same thing my parents say, because my sister passed out with flying
Okay.
colors. So whenever I come home with an exam paper, and sometimes, you know, I'm not able to perform to my optimum,
Okay.
they go like, your sister did that way, your sister did this way.
Okay.
And whenever I'm doing something, they
Okay.
go like, why are you doing it this way? Your sister did it this way.
True.
So sometimes it can be a learning experience,
Okay.
but most of the time it's quite annoying
True,
because
true.
they keep on comparing you. And not only my family, many of my friends, they
Okay.
pose this question. And sometimes this can go really drastic also.
Okay.
You know, when you start comparing yourself to, when parents start comparing their child to someone else's child, okay, the child feels, okay, my dad or mom, they don't trust me anymore.
Okay.
You know, I mean, am I not that valuable to them? Sometimes, you know, these kind of thoughts go in.
Okay.
Teenage mood swings,
Okay,
and every time,
okay.
suppose, you know, and then you rebel on this, you go
Okay.
angry, and then there's a fight over this, and parents just, you know, they have to understand that whatever you do, we know that you're doing your work day and night for our
Okay.
welfare also.
Okay.
But it's just that, you know, when you compare yourself to someone, it just brings out a lot of negative feelings that
True.
you don't
Very true.
want to
Very
have
true.
in a good family or in a good society.
True,
So that's
True,
basically.
true. Thank you, Raj. Yeah.
Adding on to that point, actually, yesterday, I remember I saw a comical image
Okay.
on Facebook. The image was about a big elephant, a parent elephant, and its child, the small elephant. And then
true, yeah.
the elephant said that, look at you, you can't even fly. Look at Mr. Eagle's son.
True.
He knows how to fly, and you're not able to do this.
Exactly.
So the baby elephant, that poor thing, says, I'll do my best.
True.
So-
I saw it myself. Guys, let me clarify a little bit, because, you know, I work as a psychologist. I've worked with a lot of students in my lifetime. Sibling rivalry is in fact useful, because we have looked at people who are successful internationally, and we have found that people who had a lot of comparisons made when they were young, with the neighbor's son, with the uncles, you know, that's the most irritating part, you know, with your cousin. In fact, that has actually led them to become more successful. Okay, so comparison, you are always compared. You're compared in class with the best, you're compared on the track and field meet, you join the workforce, you're compared again. So you can't live without comparisons. But I think, again, what we have to tell parents is, don't overdo it, please, to the extent where it really puts you people down. Yeah, you have your strengths, your cousin has his strengths as well. If they acknowledge your strengths and then compares you to him, then I think you'll be in a better position to accept it. Yeah. So do compare. It's good. It's good for success. It's good for ambition. But do not compare in a way that actually puts down the flame within you guys. Let me come back to a question to Grishma. This is a very novel question. You know, I haven't actually seen this being discussed. What Grishma says is, parents should be consistent in the way they enforce authority. Okay. You're free to go today, and then suddenly when they get into teenage, it's all about, oh my God, they've crossed the threshold. From now on, you know, you have to sit at home, social media monitoring. The rules of the house change suddenly, and probably it's too sudden. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Could
it's
you
too
elaborate
sudden
that?
because till 13 years old,
Okay.
you had a lot of, you know, fair ground rules. You had like, okay, fine, go out and play, come back whenever you want,
Okay.
talk to that person, don't talk to that person, have fun. When you just reach your teenage, 14 years old, when everything starts changing, you know, physically, emotionally, your whole environment starts changing, suddenly you have strict ground rules.
Okay.
You go like, don't do that, why are you doing this?
Okay.
I mean, you're not supposed to do this, you're a big child, you need to
Okay.
act like one, you need to be
Okay.
matured. Whatever you do, I'm going to monitor you from now onwards.
Okay.
Okay, show me the history of your phone, that
Okay.
and this.
Okay.
So suddenly you feel, oh God, my dad doesn't trust me anymore. My mom doesn't trust me anymore.
Oops.
Yeah,
Okay,
so that
okay.
creates a lot of negative feelings again.
True.
So you're completely down. You
Okay.
don't know what to do.
Okay.
And it's teenage, so everything starts changing. Mood swings again. One time you're happy, the other like you're so sad and gloomy.
True.
So it's exactly what when I asked this to my friends, they were exactly having the same opinion, because yesterday you were all the carefree kind of funky dude, and then today you have a lot of restrictions.
Okay.
There's a four-walled barrier
Okay.
that doesn't allow you to. They don't allow you to talk with someone and talk with freely as you did.
True.
Yes, those restrictions are needed, but
True.
then they should be consistent. Okay, it should start from when you were a child itself, and you should start from the babyhood, so that even when you reach your teenage, you won't feel much of big
A huge
a
leap.
huge leap as
Okay,
a result.
okay,
It's like
okay.
till maybe say 13 you were all carefree, and then once you just step into your teenage, you have, it just takes a peak, the graph takes a peak.
True.
So
I think from what you said, Grishma, what really struck me is a phrase where you said the kids feel that your parents don't trust you anymore, and that's a very dangerous feeling. In fact, I think as a parent, probably we get more concerned, because when you grow up, challenges are different. It's not the same challenges that you had when you were a child. So they're probably trying to overprotect you. Yeah. But again, it should be communicated appropriately, because if you feel that the trust is not there, I've seen a lot of cases. Parents, please note, when children feel that you don't trust them, they'll go seeking the trust from other sources. It could be from friends, it could be on people they meet in social media, and that could really lead to a lot of disastrous circumstances. So when you say don't, please explain to them why. Yeah, and make it reasonable. Don't think they're kids, they can understand, they're logical. Your concern for them can be communicated in so many ways. It should not be that, oh, today is her birthday or his birthday, they've turned 14, new set of rules, 2 padlocks on the door, curfew at home. Do it in a consistent and gradual manner, and make sure that they appreciate you for what you're doing, because you're doing it out of love. Yeah. So thank you. That was an awesome point. You wanted to say something. Being a boy, maybe it's different.
Actually, yeah, it is different, because for boys there are more set of rules followed.
Okay.
Right from the start of the teenage, you get used. Parents start imposing rules on you,
Okay.
and sometimes it's, anyways, in the end it's out of love. They expect your child to be safe. They expect their children to be safe.
True.
And go in a good path, lead a good life, be something good in life, be a better human being.
True.
But then their love language is a little challenging for us.
To say the least. Thank you for putting it so subtly. Sometimes you love someone so much that I've seen parents do that. When a child falls down and say, "You dumb, you go kill yourself." It's out of love, but you know what comes out of the
Scary
mouth
at
is
times.
very scary at times. Very scary at times. So parents, let me use this opportunity to say, when children go through teenage, a lot of things happen within their brains. It's actually happening within these two brains right now, emotions and hormones, and they can't understand you well, their goals change, and they tend to rebel a little, they take risks more. So we need to be with them, we need to hold them, and if we lose their trust, I think we're paying a huge disservice to the love that we have. Thank you guys, I'm absolutely enjoying the conversation. Yeah, because you're putting it in such a mature manner. Okay, Raj, something sensitive. I think it touches a little upon what Grishma said. Raj said that parents keep changing sides. Okay, they say, "You're big now, you should not be doing this," or you can do this. And then the very next second they say, "You're too small for this. How can you do that?" So can you elaborate that a little bit?
Well, I would like to explain that point through a personal example.
Okay.
When I was 13, our school actually planned a trip to another country,
Okay.
very far, almost 3,000 kilometers away from UAE.
Okay.
And actually what happened was, that time I was actually capable of handling myself on my own,
Okay.
kind of independent. But then they thought, my parents kind of thought that, no, we are sending our kid to far away, and then
Okay.
he won't be able to handle by himself. But
Okay.
the positive part was they actually didn't see the positive part of it.
Okay.
That he'll be a little independent. He'll try to learn or adapt the new culture of that other country.
True,
He'll be able to cope up with his friends,
Okay.
teachers.
Okay.
He'll be able to enjoy. He'll be able to learn new things.
True. True.
Being independent.
Okay.
So that was one thing, one example. Other thing was that so they said that time that you're too small for doing this.
Okay,
And,
okay.
Please.
Okay.
But also there are some other factors which add fuel to the fire. Actually, they convinced me not to go over there
Okay.
by these factors. Like there was some news about that country.
Okay.
Something was happening over there. So
Okay.
please don't go over there.
Okay,
This thing
okay,
will happen.
Okay.
There was nothing about it.
Okay.
Also, they thought that you're not really capable of coping with them. If you create some issue over there, it's going to be a
Okay.
big problem.
Okay,
Then
okay.
I don't know how will you be able to come back.
Okay.
Will you be able to handle your passport by yourself?
Okay.
And another example was that I have not experienced this because I don't have a brother or a sister.
Okay.
But then when I talked with my friends, when they with siblings, obviously, that time they told that when parents are going out somewhere, you and your brother or sister is at home alone. And obviously siblings are naughty people.
Okay.
They keep on troubling you.
True.
And that time parents say, you're too big enough, please stay with your
Yes,
sibling.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
obviously we do, I have personally experienced this, that we don't enjoy that much with our naughty siblings.
Okay.
They keep on troubling us.
True. True.
They also do it out of love,
Exactly.
like parents.
Exactly. But I hope they find better ways to do it. As you said. Let me give a personal example. My son, who just turned 14, he is almost like a universal remote. You know what a universal remote is, right? One remote for everything. So the doorbell rings, it's Aman. Phone rings, it's Aman. Go down to the grocery, it's Aman. Solve a problem, it's Aman. So he thinks he's, we're treating him as an adult. But one rule that we have in my house is if you're gossiping, about that uncle or the aunt or something, we keep our children away from that because we don't want them to listen to that because they might make their own weird assumptions. So he comes in and says, "What are you discussing?" And we say, "Adult talk." Stay away, So he says, "Come on, Dad, you can't have different sets of rules. You consider me as an adult and you make me do all this stuff, but then at the same time you keep me away." So I think we have to be consistent in what we do. I think it's time for us to take a break now. Okay, we are absolutely enjoying the discussion. So with the permission of the studio, Chantal, I hope we can take a break right now. So we'll be back, brothers and sisters, to continue this very interesting conversation with Grishma and Raj. Please don't go away. Just a short break.